Welcome back. So glad you can be with me again. My name is Don K. Preston. I am the president of Preterist Research Institute of Ardmore, Oklahoma, and this is what I call my morning musings as I share a good cup of coffee with you, and not only a cup of coffee, but a few thoughts from God's Word. In response to a viewer's request, I've been sharing with you kind of a thumbnail sketch of Covenant Eschatology. As I have noted, all three futurist views of the end can be classified as what we call historical eschatology. That is, they teach the end of human history. That is not what the Bible teaches. Contrary to the futurist views, the Bible teaches that the coming of the Lord, the judgment, the resurrection, would occur at the end of the Old Covenant world, the Old Covenant age of Israel. That occurred in AD 70. Now, I've shared thoughts with you on Isaiah 65, Isaiah 66, and other passages. But let me demonstrate that from a text that is so clear. Matthew chapter 13 is the story of the harvest at the end of the age and the coming of the Lord. Now, the huge majority of commentators understand this is about the definitive, consummative coming of the Lord. What's interesting is there are a growing number of scholars who understand that Matthew chapter 13 does not speak anything at all about the end of time. It's not about historical eschatology. As a matter of fact, Joel McDermott, with whom I had a public debate in July of 2012, in his book, Jesus v. Jerusalem, that I sell on my websites, www.eschatology.org and BibleProphecy.com, and I highly recommend this book in about 99% of its content. Many people have said it has really helped them understand covenant eschatology, and they pondered how he can be a futurist in any way. But be that as it may, commenting on Matthew chapter 13 and the harvest, Joel McDermott says that it applied to the first century events. This is not a quote, but it's the gist of his thoughts. It applied to the first century events, the coming of the Lord in judgment of AD 70, the time of the harvest, and has no further application. I agree 100% with that. Notice the following. Jesus said, quote, harvest is at the end of this age, as many translations render it. By the way, Joel McDermott makes the astute observation in this book that Jesus's this age was the age of Moses. And the age to come, from Jesus' perspective, was, in fact, the age in which you and I are living. Well, I agree 100%. But, of course, that's fatal to Joel McDermott's view. As I pointed out in our debate, and by the way, the debate book is available as well, but here's the deal. Jesus said, harvest is at the end of this age. Then shall the Son of Man send forth his angels. They shall gather together the tares, shall the wheat gathered into the barn, shall gather up the tares, and it shall be burned. Then shall the righteous shine forth in the kingdom of their Father. Now, this is a direct citation of Daniel chapter 12, verse 3. So, as Greg Beale notes, Matthew chapter 13, time of the harvest, coming of the Lord, i.e., time of the resurrection, of Matthew 13 is when Daniel chapter 12 would be fulfilled. Daniel chapter 12 predicted the righteous shining forth in the kingdom of their Father at the time of the end, verse 4. And notice what happens in verse 6. One angel asks another, when shall these things be? What things? Resurrection, verse 2. Righteous shining forth in the kingdom, verse 3. Time of the end, verse 4. When shall these things be? When shall all of these things be fulfilled? Verse 7. The other angel lifted his right hand to heaven, lifted his left hand swore by him who lives forever and ever, and said, it shall be for a time, times and a half time, and when the power of the holy people has been completely shattered, all of these things. Notice he didn't say some of these things. Notice he didn't say most of these things. Notice he said all of these things will be fulfilled. Now, who are the holy people? It can't be the church, because the church's power, which is the cross and the new covenant, will never be destroyed. Daniel 2:44, Daniel 7:13 and 14. The holy people is Israel. Her power was Torah. Thus, resurrection, when the righteous would shine forth in the kingdom, at the time of the end, would be when the power of the holy people was completely shattered. The power of Israel. Israel's only power was her covenant with Yahweh. Therefore, the coming of the Lord, the judgment, and the harvest at the end of the age in Matthew 13 was when the power of the holy people was completely shattered. Now, I developed that and a whole lot more in several of my books. For instance, 70 weeks are determined for the resurrection. For instance, my book, Like Father, Like Son, on Clouds of Glory, and other books. Those are available on my website. Take a choice. Go to eschatology.org, go to bibleprophecy.com, order one of those books, or order Jesus v. Jerusalem, and you'll be astounded, absolutely astounded, at what you find in this book that will help you to understand covenant eschatology. We'll have more. I'm headed to Virginia Beach. I hope to see some of you there at the Berean Bible Church Conference this weekend at Virginia Beach, Virginia. Go to BereanBibleChurch.org for the details. Hope to see you there. You have a great, great weekend. God bless.